Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, English Journey Conversation. I am very happy to see you here today. Thank you for joining me to learn English. Before we start, I want to ask you to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more helpful content for English learners like you. Hello, dear English learner. Welcome back to another episode of our podcast. This podcast is a place where we make learning English simple, effective, and fun. We believe that learning English does not need to be stressful, confusing, or boring. Instead, it can be clear, enjoyable, and natural. Let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever felt nervous when speaking English? Do you find yourself translating every sentence in your head before you speak? Do you want to speak smoothly, but cannot find the right words at the right moment? If your answer is yes, then this episode is just for you. Now, imagine this. You are having a conversation in English. You are not thinking about grammar rules. You are not searching for words in your mind. You are not afraid of making mistakes. Instead, you are speaking English naturally and confidently. The words come out easily. You feel calm. There is no stress, no fear, just smooth, easy English. That sounds amazing, right? I am Rosa, your host, and I am here to help you speak English with confidence. This podcast is part of our Code Your English channel. Our goal is to guide learners like you step by step, helping you become fluent in English. We believe that learning English should feel natural and enjoyable. It should not be confusing, difficult, or boring. You are not alone in your learning journey. We are creating a community of learners who support each other, share ideas, and grow together. If you ever feel stuck, confused, or unsure, that is completely normal. Learning a language is a journey, and everyone faces challenges. But you do not have to do it alone. We also want to hear from you. If you have questions, difficulties, or topics you want us to explain, please let us know. What are your biggest problems with English? Which topics would you like us to cover? Your suggestions are very important. We will use them to create new episodes that give real help and clear answers for your English learning. Today, our topic is speaking English automatically. This is one of the most important skills for any English learner. We will talk about how you can train your brain to speak English automatically. But what does automatically mean? It means you do not overthink when you speak. You do not freeze or feel stuck. English words come out quickly, naturally, and confidently, just like your first language. And here is the best part: you can learn this skill. In this episode, you will learn how your brain naturally learns language. You will also understand why old methods, like memorizing long lists of words or focusing only on grammar, often do not help you speak fluently. We will show you new techniques that are simple, practical, and effective, so you can finally speak English with confidence and ease. By the end of this episode, you will understand how to train your brain, overcome hesitation, and start speaking English smoothly. You will see that learning English can be fun, natural, and stress-free. No more fear of mistakes, no more worrying about finding the right words. You will be able to speak English automatically, just like you speak your first language. Many English learners face the same challenges when speaking. Grammar can slow you down. You might hesitate because you are unsure which words to use, or you might pause too long while thinking about the correct sentence. The good news is that there are simple techniques to help you speak without hesitation. You can even practice every day, even if you don't have someone to talk with. This episode will also show you how to beat fear, hesitation, and a limited vocabulary. By the end, you will have clear steps to start speaking English fluently and confidently. No matter if you're learning English for work, travel, school, or daily life, these methods will help you improve. Do you hesitate when you speak English? Let's imagine a common scenario. You are in a conversation and someone asks you a question. You understand what they are saying, but then you stop. You start thinking, trying to translate from your native language. You search for the right words in your head. By the time you speak, the conversation has already moved forward. This feels frustrating, right? If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. Many English learners experience the same problem. Why does this happen? You may know a lot of English words. You may understand grammar rules. You may have studied English for years. But when it is time to speak, your brain sometimes freezes. You cannot speak quickly enough. You start worrying about mistakes. You second-guess yourself. Your confidence drops, and speaking becomes stressful instead of natural. But here is the good news. You can change this. You can train your brain to speak English automatically, just like you speak your native language. Yes, it is possible, and it works with practice. Let's look at a real-life example. How children learn language. Think about small children learning to speak. Do they study grammar rules or memorize long lists of vocabulary words? No, they do not. Children learn by listening, repeating, and speaking naturally. They hear the same words over and over. Slowly, these words become automatic. They do not translate in their heads. They do not overthink. They simply speak, and with time, they become fluent. This is why children can learn a language so easily and naturally. Adults, however, often take a different path. Most adults focus too much on grammar rules, memorize long lists of words, and spend a lot of time doing writing exercises. Then, when it is time to speak, they struggle.
Why?
Because their brains have not been trained to think in English. Instead, adults often try to translate from their native language, which slows down speaking and causes hesitation. This is why automatic speaking is so important. When your brain is trained to speak automatically, you do not stop to translate. You do not overthink grammar or word choice. You can respond naturally, quickly, and confidently. You are no longer held back by fear or hesitation. Your English starts to flow like your first language, and speaking becomes enjoyable instead of stressful. In the next part, we will explore exactly how to train your brain for automatic speaking. We will look at daily exercises and methods that help you think in English and speak naturally. We will also show how these simple techniques can make speaking English faster, smoother, and stress-free, even if you are practicing alone. With practice, your brain will learn to speak automatically, just like children do, but with the advantage that you already know more words and concepts as an adult. Now, let's talk more about hesitation and fluency in English. Many learners think that fluency means speaking very fast, but that is not true. Fluency is not about speed. Fluency means speaking smoothly and naturally, without long pauses or stopping too often. When your brain is trained, you no longer need to think in your native language first. You don't need to carefully build each sentence in your head. Instead, you respond automatically, just like you do in your first language. Here's a simple example. Imagine you are at a restaurant. The waiter asks, "What would you like to drink?" Instead of stopping to translate in your head, you can simply say, "I'd like a coffee, please." That's it. Simple, fast, confident. This is what automatic speaking looks like. The words come out naturally, and you don't have to overthink. The second important point is confidence. Many people feel shy or nervous when speaking English because they are afraid of making mistakes. But here is the truth. Making mistakes is a normal part of learning. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a language, and that is okay. The more you practice automatic speaking, the more confident you become. Think about learning to drive a car. At first, driving can be stressful. There are so many things to remember, and every step feels difficult. But with practice, driving becomes automatic. You do it naturally without thinking about every small action. Speaking English works the same way. With practice, it becomes easy, smooth, and natural. The third point is thinking directly in English. Have you ever tried to think in your native language and then translate to English? If you have, you probably notice that your sentences sound strange or unnatural. You pause too much. You feel unsure. This happens because every language has a different structure. Translating word by word usually doesn't work. But if you train your brain to think in English, you stop translating and start speaking naturally. You will notice that your sentences flow better and speaking becomes faster and more comfortable. The fourth point is saving time in conversations. Imagine this scenario. You're at work and your boss asks you a question in English. You don't have time to think about grammar. You don't have time to translate each word in your head. You need to answer quickly. This is where automatic speaking helps. Your brain produces the words immediately. You speak clearly, confidently, and without delay. People who work in customer service often experience this. They speak with international customers all the time. They don't stop to translate each word because they have trained their brains to respond automatically. This allows them to communicate efficiently and confidently in real situations. By practicing automatic speaking, you can reduce hesitation, improve confidence, and respond naturally in any situation. You can learn to think in English and speak without pauses or fear. This is not just useful for conversations at work or school, it also helps in travel, social situations, and daily life. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Speaking English will start to feel natural, smooth, and stress-free, just like your first language. Automatic speaking is a skill you can train. With daily practice, repetition, and the right techniques, your brain learns to respond quickly and confidently. You don't have to translate or overthink. You just speak naturally and confidently in any situation. This is the key to fluency and true comfort in English conversations. Now let's continue with some more ideas about automatic speaking. Another important point is that you can train your brain to respond in English instantly, just like professional speakers or people who work in customer service. With the right practice, you can develop this skill too. The fifth point is enjoy learning more. Let's be honest, studying grammar rules, memorizing words, and reading textbooks can sometimes feel boring. But when you focus on training your brain to speak automatically, learning English becomes fun and exciting. You feel less stressed, more confident, and even excited to speak. Think about learning a sport. At first, it is hard and you make mistakes. But with practice, you improve and soon you start enjoying it. English works the same way. Automatic speaking is not about being perfect. It is not about using perfect grammar, big words, or speaking exactly like a native speaker. It is about communication, confidence, and natural flow. So, how does your brain actually learn a language? Your brain is amazing. It helps you think, feel, remember, and most importantly, speak. Inside your brain are billions of tiny cells called neurons. These neurons work together like a huge team. They send messages to each other and help you learn new things, understand the world, and use language. Your brain loves patterns. It learns best by seeing or hearing the same things again and again. This is how you learn skills like riding a bike, playing an instrument, or speaking a new language. But what is language exactly? Language is how we communicate with others. We use it to share ideas, feelings, and thoughts. Every language is made of sounds, words, grammar, and meaning. Here is the exciting part. Your brain is naturally built to learn language. For example, every child in the world learns to speak their first language without grammar books or vocabulary lists. They just listen, copy, and speak. They repeat sounds, learn words, and slowly their speech becomes automatic. If children can learn a language naturally, why do many adults find it harder? The answer is that adults usually try to learn languages differently. Most adults focus on memorizing rules, learning long lists of words, and practicing writing. They do not train their brain to think and respond naturally in English. But your brain works the same way it did when you were a child. It can still learn language naturally if you give it the right kind of practice. Let's break down how the brain learns a language, step by step. Think about learning other skills like swimming, riding a bicycle, or playing the guitar. First, you observe and listen. Babies do not speak immediately after birth. They spend many months just listening. They hear their parents talking, hearing the sounds of words, the rhythm of sentences, and the meaning behind them. This is the first step, listening. By listening carefully, your brain begins to recognize patterns, connect sounds with meanings, and understand how language works. The second step, which we will cover later, is repeating and practicing. Just like a child repeats words and sentences, you need to practice speaking regularly. Through listening and repeating, your brain starts to store words, phrases, and sentences automatically. Over time, speaking becomes natural, smooth, and confident. This is the real key to learning English in a stress-free and effective way. Now, let's look at how your brain learns a language step by step, just like a baby learns their first language. The process of learning English, or any new language, follows natural stages that your brain is already designed to handle. If you understand these stages, you can train your brain to speak English automatically. Step 1. Listening and understanding. When babies are born, they do not study grammar or memorize vocabulary lists. They spend most of their time listening. They hear the sounds, words, and phrases people say in daily life. For example, a baby might hear, "Do you want some milk?" or "Come here, it's bedtime." After months of hearing these words over and over, the baby begins to understand the meaning. Even before they speak, the baby might crawl toward their mom when she says, "Come here, Zena." This is the first stage of language learning, listening and understanding. The brain absorbs the sounds, the patterns, and the meaning without any conscious effort. Step 2. Repeating words and phrases. After listening for many months, babies begin to repeat the words they hear often. They do not start by forming full sentences. Instead, they begin with simple words like mama, bye-bye, or ball. Over time, they start combining words into short phrases like want cookie, go park, or more milk. These phrases are not perfect, but that is okay. The brain is learning through repetition, not rules. Gradually, their speech improves naturally as they continue practicing. Here's a real-life example. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. At first, it is difficult. You may lose balance and fall many times. But with practice, your brain learns how to balance, pedal, and steer automatically. Eventually, you can ride without thinking about it. Learning English works the same way. If you repeat English phrases often, your brain remembers them and produces them automatically when you speak. So, how does this help you learn English faster? The key is not to focus on single words only. Instead, learn and repeat full phrases. For example, say, "I'm very tired," not just tired. Say, "I want some water," not just water. Repeat these phrases aloud every day. Use them in your daily life, even if you are just talking to yourself. By practicing phrases, you are teaching your brain to speak English naturally and automatically, just like a child learns their first language. Step 3. Learning through meaning, not grammar. When you learned your first language, your parents did not explain grammar rules. You learned by hearing words in context and understanding their meaning. For example, when a child hears, "I want an apple," they do not analyze the sentence. They just understand the idea. The child wants an apple. Later, the child uses this phrase naturally when they need it. The same principle applies to learning English as an adult. Instead of worrying about grammar rules, focus on meaningful phrases and use them in real life. Your brain will store these patterns, and eventually allow you to speak English automatically and confidently. By following these steps, listening carefully, repeating phrases often, and learning through meaning, you train your brain to speak English smoothly. You develop automatic responses for everyday situations. Over time, hesitation disappears, confidence grows, and speaking English becomes natural, just like your first language. Here's another example of how your brain learns language naturally. When someone says, "What's up?" you don't stop to think about grammar rules like, "What plus is plus up?" Instead, you automatically understand it means, "How are you?" Your brain connects the phrase to its real meaning without analyzing each word. This is how language learning really works, by linking phrases to meaning, not by memorizing rules. So, how does this help you? The key idea is, don't just study grammar. Grammar is important, but it is not enough to speak fluently. Instead, focus on learning phrases used in real conversations. For example, watch English movies or TV shows. Listen to how people really speak. Try to understand English in English without translating into your native language. This trains your brain to think in English and helps you respond naturally. Now, let's talk about how to train your brain to learn faster and speak English automatically. Here are 5 simple steps you can follow every day. Step 1. Surround yourself with English. The more English you hear, the faster your brain learns. Listen to English podcasts, watch shows or movies in English, and try turning off subtitles if you can. Change the language settings on your phone, social media, and apps to English. The more you're exposed to English in daily life, the more your brain will start recognizing patterns and understanding meaning automatically. Step 2. Speak out loud every day. Even if you don't have someone to talk to, practicing speaking is crucial. Talk to yourself in English about simple things, like what you are doing. For example, while making coffee, you could say, "I'm making coffee. It smells good." Repeat phrases you hear from native speakers. Start with short sentences and everyday expressions. The more you speak, the more natural English will become. Step 3. Learn phrases, not just single words. Memorizing individual words like hungry or tired is helpful, but using full phrases is even better. For example, instead of just learning hungry, say, "I'm really hungry." Instead of just tired, say, "I feel so tired today." Instead of just happy, say, "I'm happy to see you." Learning phrases allows your brain to produce English automatically without pausing to build sentences. Step 4. Use active listening. Don't just hear English, engage with it. When you listen, try repeating what you hear. Shadow the speaker by speaking along with them. Predict what they might say next. This trains your brain to stay alert and respond naturally, just like in a real conversation. Active listening helps your brain remember phrases and sentence patterns, so speaking becomes easier and smoother. Step 5. Don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are a normal part of learning any language. Every fluent speaker made many mistakes when learning. Focus on communicating your ideas clearly, not being perfect. Celebrate small victories. For example, if you understood a sentence in a podcast without translating, or if you used a new phrase correctly in a conversation, that is a success. Over time, small wins build confidence and fluency. By following these 5 steps, surround yourself with English, speaking out loud, learning phrases, actively listening, and embracing mistakes, your brain will begin to think in English automatically. You will start responding quickly, confidently, and naturally, just like a native speaker. Speaking English will become stress-free, enjoyable, and effective, even if you practice alone. Let's continue with how you can train your brain to speak English automatically. Remember, even small progress is important. If today you understood one sentence or spoke one new phrase, that's already success. Your brain is powerful, and with the right practice, English will start to feel natural and easy. Now, let's look at some daily techniques that can help you speak more fluently and confidently. The first key point is consistency. You don't need hours of practice every day. Even just 10 to 15 minutes of focused work can make a big difference over time. The key is to practice regularly. Technique 1. Shadowing. Listen and repeat. Shadowing is one of the fastest ways to train your brain to speak naturally. The idea is simple. You listen to a native speaker and repeat immediately, like an echo. You can use short audio clips, YouTube videos, podcasts, or movie scenes. Play one sentence at a time, pause, and repeat it exactly like the speaker. Copy their tone, speed, and rhythm. Keep repeating until it feels natural. Why does this work? Shadowing trains your brain to process English quickly. It also helps your mouth and brain work together, improving your rhythm, pronunciation, and fluency. Here's an example. Imagine an interview audio. The interviewer asks, "What do you enjoy most about traveling?" The guest answers, "I love experiencing new cultures and meeting interesting people." Pause the audio and repeat, "I love experiencing new cultures and meeting interesting people." Do this often, and your brain will start remembering full sentences and natural speech patterns, making speaking easier and faster. Technique 2. Think in English, mental conversations. Many learners think in their native language and then translate into English. This takes extra time and often causes hesitation. Instead, you want to train your brain to think directly in English. Here's how. Describe things around you in English. For example, "It's a beautiful morning. The sun is shining. The birds are singing." Plan your day in English. "First, I'll have breakfast. Then I'll go to work and finish my report." You can even have silent conversations with yourself. Imagine someone asks you, "What do you do for fun?" Answer in your mind, "I enjoy reading books and going for walks in the park." The goal is to make thinking in English a habit. The more you do this, the faster your brain will respond naturally when you speak out loud. You'll stop translating word by word and start speaking smoothly, just like in your first language. Technique 3. Use phrases, not single words. Instead of memorizing isolated words, focus on common phrases used in real life. For example, don't just learn hungry. Learn, "I'm really hungry," or "I would like some water." Don't just learn tired. Learn, "I feel so tired today," or "I'm tired after work." Practicing full phrases prepares your brain to speak automatically because you are learning the way native speakers actually talk. Technique 4. Active listening and engagement. When listening to English, don't just hear the words. Engage with them. Repeat after the speaker, guess what they might say next, and imitate their rhythm and pronunciation. This trains your brain to stay alert and think in English, just like in a real conversation. Technique 5. Don't fear mistakes and celebrate progress. Mistakes are a normal part of learning. Even fluent speakers made countless mistakes when they were learning. Focus on communicating clearly rather than being perfect. Celebrate small wins. For example, if you understood a sentence without translating, or if you correctly used a new phrase, that is progress. Over time, these small successes build confidence and fluency. By using these techniques, shadowing, thinking in English, learning phrases, active listening, and embracing mistakes, your brain will gradually learn to speak English automatically, confidently, and naturally. Even a few minutes of daily practice can bring remarkable improvement over weeks and months. Let's continue learning more daily techniques to help your brain speak English automatically. Remember, every small step counts. If today you spoke one new phrase or understood a sentence without translating, that is progress. Your brain is powerful, and with regular practice, English will start to feel natural and easy. Technique 6. Listen, imitate, and speak. Many learners make the mistake of only listening. Listening is important, but it is not enough. Your brain and mouth need to work together. You must speak out loud to train both. Here's how. Choose a short English conversation, a podcast clip, or a scene from a TV show. Listen closely to how the speaker says each phrase, paying attention to tone, speed, and rhythm. Then repeat the sentences out loud, just like the speaker. Don't read from a script, say it naturally. For example, you hear, "Hey, how's it going?" Pause and repeat, "Hey, how's it going?" Match the tone, rhythm, and expression exactly. Doing this every day helps your mouth get used to English sounds. Soon, speaking English will feel natural and automatic, and your brain will start producing phrases without hesitation. Technique 7. Learn common phrases, not just words. Many learners memorize individual words like hungry, difficult, or happy. The problem is that native speakers don't speak in single words. They use phrases. Instead of just hungry, you can say, "I'm starving. Let's grab something to eat." Instead of just difficult, you can say, "That was really challenging, but I did my best." Instead of happy, say, "I'm feeling great today. The weather is amazing. Why does this work?" Your brain remembers phrases as a whole unit, making it easier to recall during conversations. You don't have to build sentences from scratch. You already have ready-made expressions in your memory, just like a native speaker. Technique 8. Speak every day. Even if you are alone, you can practice speaking English. You don't always need a partner. Here are a few ways to practice alone. Talk to yourself. Describe what you are doing, e.g., "I'm making lunch now. It smells great." Read aloud. Pick a book, article, or short story and read with expression. Record yourself. Speak for 1 minute about any topic, then listen. Compare your speech to native examples. Use speech-to-text apps. Speak and see if the app recognizes your words correctly. Speaking activates different parts of your brain than listening or reading. The more you speak, the more confident and fluent you become. Technique 9. Use active listening. Passive listening, just hearing English in the background, is not enough. Active listening means fully engaging with the language. Focus on understanding the meaning, repeating phrases, and predicting what will come next. This trains your brain to think in English and helps you respond quickly in conversations. By combining these techniques, listening, imitating, learning phrases, speaking daily, and active listening, your brain will start to process English automatically. Over time, hesitation disappears, confidence grows, and speaking becomes smooth and natural. Practicing even 10 to 15 minutes a day consistently can lead to huge improvements over weeks and months. Let's continue with more ways to train your brain to speak English automatically. One of the most important ideas is that you must actively engage with what you hear. Just listening passively, like music in the background, isn't enough. Your brain needs practice thinking, responding, and predicting in English. Technique 10. Active listening. Active listening means your brain works while you hear English. Here's how you can do it. Repeat sentences as soon as you hear them. Try to guess what the speaker will say next. Answer questions in your mind before the character in a video or audio does. For example, imagine you hear, "I had a really tough day today." Before the next sentence plays, ask yourself, why was their day tough? What might they say next? This trains your brain to process English faster and improves your ability to respond naturally. Active listening makes speaking feel automatic because your brain is already used to predicting and using English in real time. Technique 11. Reduce translation time. Many learners slow down because they translate every word in their head. This causes hesitation and makes speaking feel unnatural. The solution is to think directly in English. Here's how. Learn English definitions instead of translating to your native language. For example, don't think dog equals your native word. Instead, think, a dog is a four-legged animal that barks. Use English to English dictionaries and watch videos or shows with English subtitles, not translations. Why does this work? The less you translate, the faster your brain processes English. Over time, your brain will skip translation completely and think in English naturally, just like it does in your first language. Technique 12. Train your brain like a muscle. Speaking English automatically isn't about being smart. It's about practice, repetition, and consistency. Speak every day, repeat phrases often, make mistakes, and learn from them. Enjoy the process. Over time, your brain becomes stronger at English, and speaking becomes effortless and natural. Technique 13. Speak with real people. Practicing with other people is one of the most effective ways to improve fluency. Real conversations push you to think quickly, listen carefully, and respond naturally. Here's how you can practice. Join online speaking groups. Find a language exchange partner. Participate in live Q&A sessions or discussion clubs. Speaking regularly with real people boosts confidence, builds fluency, and makes English feel more real and useful. When you speak with others, your brain is forced to respond instantly, just like in natural conversations. You learn to use phrases you've practiced, think in English, and adapt quickly to different situations. By combining all these techniques, active listening, thinking in English, practicing daily, repeating phrases, making mistakes, and speaking with real people, you train your brain to speak automatically, smoothly, and confidently. Even short, consistent daily practice can make a huge difference over time. Remember, English fluency is not about memorizing rules or words. It's about training your brain, creating habits, and enjoying the journey. With these methods, you can turn English speaking into a natural, stress-free skill. Gradually, hesitation disappears, confidence grows, and conversations feel easy. Your brain learns to respond in English instantly, just like it does in your first language. Every sentence you speak is a step toward fluency. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and enjoy the process. Your English will improve faster than you imagine. Now, let's talk about key points and solutions for learning to speak English automatically. First, here are some key takeaways to keep in mind. Practice daily. Even 30 minutes of focused practice each day can make a big difference. Consistency is more important than long sessions. Think in English. Stop translating from your native language. Your brain needs to learn to process English directly. Speak out loud. Don't just read or listen. Activate your voice and mouth. Speaking helps your brain connect words, phrases, and pronunciation naturally. Use real English. Watch English movies or shows, listen to native speakers, and imitate them. Try to copy the tone, rhythm, and expressions. Be patient. Fluency takes time. Don't expect perfection immediately. Enjoy the process and celebrate every small improvement. Even though this sounds simple, many learners face common challenges. The good news is that every problem has a solution. Let's go through the most common obstacles and how to overcome them. Problem 1. Fear of making mistakes. Many learners feel nervous about speaking because they worry about grammar, pronunciation, or vocabulary mistakes. This fear can stop you from speaking at all. The solution is to accept that mistakes are normal. Even native speakers make them. Focus on communicating your ideas clearly, not being perfect. Try speaking in a safe environment, talk to yourself, record your voice, or join a supportive English group. Celebrate your progress, even small wins. For example, if you remembered a new phrase correctly or spoke without translating, recognize it as success. Motivation is key. Think of how children learn. They don't stop walking because they fall. They keep trying. Learning English works the same way. Keep speaking, even if you stumble sometimes. Problem 2. Translating instead of thinking in English. Many learners first think in their native language, then translate to English. This slows down speech and makes it feel unnatural. The solution is to train your brain to think directly in English. Start with simple sentences. I'm drinking coffee, or it's raining. Use an English to English dictionary to understand meanings, not translations. You can also do fast response exercises. For example, look at an object or action and describe it in English within 30 seconds. If you see a cat, don't think of the word in your language. Just think cat. This mental shortcut trains your brain to respond quickly without translation. Immerse yourself as much as possible. Listen, read, and speak English every day. Problem 3. Struggling with pronunciation. Pronunciation can slow you down and make speaking stressful. The solution is to listen carefully and imitate native speakers. Focus on the sounds, rhythm, and intonation. Repeat sentences out loud. Record yourself and compare. Small daily practice improves pronunciation over time. By addressing these common problems, fear of mistakes, translating, and pronunciation struggles, you can make speaking English smoother and more automatic. Remember, practice every day, think in English, speak out loud, and enjoy the process. Each small step builds confidence, fluency, and comfort with English. With consistent effort, your brain will gradually process English instantly, your hesitation will disappear, and speaking will start to feel natural. Mistakes won't scare you, translation won't slow you down, and pronunciation will improve steadily. Your journey to automatic English speaking is a step-by-step process, but every step counts. Let's continue with more solutions to common problems in speaking English automatically. These tips will help you gain confidence, speak naturally, and become fluent step by step. Problem 3. Pronunciation. Many learners worry that their pronunciation is wrong or unclear. This fear can make you shy or embarrassed when speaking. The solution is to listen carefully and practice. One effective method is the shadowing technique. Here's how it works. Listen to a sentence from a native speaker, then repeat it immediately. Match their tone, rhythm, and speed. For difficult words, break them into syllables. For example, comfortable can be practiced as comfortably or comfortably. You can also record yourself and compare it to native pronunciation. Small daily practice improves your clarity and builds confidence. Problem 4. Lack of vocabulary. Sometimes you pause mid-sentence because you don't know the right word. The solution is to learn vocabulary in context, not as isolated words. For example, instead of memorizing just delicious, learn it in a sentence. This pizza is delicious. Use new words out loud in your daily life, in sentences you make yourself. Read and listen to English every day. The more you are exposed to words and phrases, the easier it is to remember them. Another trick is paraphrasing. If you forget a word, explain it instead. For example, if you forget fridge, you can say, the cold box where I keep my food. This helps conversations flow, even if your vocabulary is limited. Problem 5. Speaking too slowly or hesitating. Many learners speak slowly because they worry about grammar, forget words, or fear making mistakes. This makes conversations feel awkward. The solution is to practice speaking quickly and simply. Set a 30-second timer and describe something as fast as you can. Use short, simple sentences. I went to the park. I saw a dog. That's much better than, I yesterday went maybe to a big. Talk about familiar topics you enjoy. Repeat natural phrases often. Think like someone in fast food service, answering questions quickly. Would you like fries with that? Fast, automatic, and practiced. The more you repeat useful phrases, the faster and smoother your English speaking becomes. Repetition builds fluency over time. Problem 6. No one to practice with. Not living in an English-speaking environment can make it hard to find people to speak with. The solution is to practice alone and creatively. You can talk to yourself about your day. I'm making lunch. It smells good. Read aloud from books or articles. Record yourself speaking for a minute on any topic. Listen and notice your improvements. Use apps that convert speech to text to check if your words are recognized correctly. Speaking alone still activates your brain, helps you remember phrases, and builds confidence for future conversations. By addressing these common problems, pronunciation, vocabulary, speaking speed, and lack of practice partners, you create a foundation for automatic, natural, and confident English speaking. Remember, consistent daily practice, repeating phrases, thinking in English, and speaking even when alone will gradually make English feel natural. Mistakes, hesitations, or pauses are just part of the learning process. Keep practicing, and your brain will learn to respond in English instantly, just like your first language. Let's continue with more tips to help you speak English automatically and confidently, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. Problem 6. No one to practice with. Not having a conversation partner can feel frustrating, but there are many ways to practice alone. One of the best ways is to talk to yourself in English. Narrate what you are doing in simple sentences. For example, now I'm making tea. The water is boiling. I will add some milk. Speaking aloud like this trains your brain to think in English and respond automatically. You can also record yourself using your phone. Listen to your voice and notice where you can improve pronunciation, speed, or clarity. Using apps for speaking practice is another option. There are apps that help you practice conversations, check your pronunciation, and even interact with AI chatbots. These tools allow you to simulate real conversations anytime, even if you're alone. Mirror practice is also useful. Stand in front of a mirror and talk aloud about your day. Today I went to work. It was a busy day. I saw many people. This may feel strange at first, but it helps your brain and mouth get used to speaking English naturally. Even practicing alone trains your mind to respond quickly, as if you were talking to someone else. Problem 7. Losing motivation. Many learners feel discouraged when they don't see immediate results. Fluency takes time, and it is normal to feel frustrated. The solution is to set small, realistic goals. Instead of saying, I want to be fluent, focus on achievable tasks like, I will learn 5 new words today, or I will repeat 10 sentences aloud. Tracking your progress is important. Keep a notebook of new words or phrases and review it often. Make learning fun. Watch movies, play language games, or read stories in English. When motivation drops, visualize your goal. Picture yourself using English at work, traveling, talking with friends, or achieving a dream job. Remind yourself why you started learning English. This keeps your energy and focus alive, even on tough days. Final thoughts. You can speak English automatically. Every learner faces challenges, but the key is to keep going consistently. Every problem has a solution, and every mistake is part of the learning process. Even if you pause, hesitate, or mispronounce a word, keep practicing. Confidence grows with repetition and experience. Key takeaways for automatic speaking. Mistakes are normal. Don't fear them. Think directly in English. Avoid translating from your native language. Listen, repeat, and practice pronunciation daily. Learn words and phrases in sentences, not in isolation. Speak quickly and naturally, even if imperfect. Don't stress over grammar while speaking. Focus on communication. Use creative ways to practice, even if you're alone. Narrate, record, mirror talk, or use apps. Set small goals, celebrate progress, and stay motivated. With consistent practice, repetition, and the right strategies, your brain will learn to speak English smoothly, without hesitation, without fear, and with confidence. The more you train, the more automatic your speaking becomes. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. It's about speaking naturally, using phrases you know, and enjoying the process. Keep practicing every day, and soon English will feel just as natural as your first language. Final motivation. Blast off. Congratulations! You've made it to the end of this guide. Just reaching this point shows that you are serious about improving your English. Learning a new language is like planting a small seed. It takes time, care, and patience. With consistent effort every day, that seed grows into something beautiful. your ability to speak English confidently and naturally. Let's go over 3 powerful tips to help you stay strong, motivated, and make real progress on your English journey. 1. Consistency is more important than perfection. Many learners get stuck trying to say everything perfectly. They focus on grammar, pronunciation, and exact word choice. While it's natural to want to be perfect, this often causes hesitation and fear of speaking. The secret is daily practice, even if just for 5 to 10 minutes. Speak out loud. Make mistakes. Every mistake is a chance to learn. Think about athletes. They don't wait to be perfect before they start training. They practice every day, gradually getting stronger, faster, and more skilled. Learning English is exactly the same. You don't need to speak flawlessly. You just need to practice consistently. Small, daily steps add up to huge improvements over time. Focus on progress, not perfection. Celebrate every phrase you say correctly, every new word you use, and every sentence you speak without pausing too much. 2. Surround yourself with English. To speak English automatically, your brain needs constant exposure. You don't need to live in an English-speaking country to do this. You can create your own English environment. Listen to podcasts while walking, cooking, or cleaning. Watch English movies or TV shows. Start with subtitles if needed, then try without them. Change your phone, computer, or social media language to English. Narrate your daily life in English. For example, I'm brushing my teeth now. I need to send an email. The more your brain sees and hears English, the faster it adapts. You will start to think in English automatically, which makes speaking smoother and more confident. 3. Make learning fun and creative. English learning should not feel like a boring chore. The more you enjoy it, the more you will stick with it. Here are some ideas. Sing along to English songs. This improves pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency. Keep a daily journal in English. Write about your thoughts, feelings, and daily activities. Play English games or quiz apps to learn while having fun. Try storytelling or recording your day in English. Listening back helps you notice improvements and boosts confidence. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. It's about confidence, natural speech, and being understood. The goal is not to speak like a native immediately, but to speak clearly, smoothly, and automatically. With daily practice, exposure to English, and creative learning, your brain will learn to respond naturally, and speaking English will become easier every day. You've already started this journey, and every small step counts. Keep practicing, enjoy the process, and trust that over time, English will feel as natural as your first language. You've got this. Stay curious and keep learning. Learning English is a journey, and curiosity is your best tool. Remember, every expert in anything was once a beginner. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, ask questions, or try new ways of learning. The more you explore, the faster your English will improve. 1. Play English games and use interactive apps. Learning doesn't always have to feel like studying. You can learn while having fun. Games, apps, and online communities make practice exciting and natural. Play English games, whether story-based or multiplayer. You need to communicate with other players, so speaking becomes automatic over time. Use interactive apps like Duolingo, HelloTalk, Tandem, or language exchange platforms. These apps guide you in speaking, listening, and understanding English in a fun way. Join online English-speaking communities like Discord servers, Reddit groups, or gaming communities. Speaking regularly in these spaces improves fluency and confidence. For example, a friend improved his English by playing online games with native speakers. He had to communicate to succeed in the game, and over time, speaking became natural and automatic. 2. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at a different pace. It's easy to feel discouraged when others seem to improve faster, but remember, learning a language is not a race. Focus on your own progress. Celebrate even the smallest victories. Think about babies learning to walk. They don't quit because they can't run like adults. They fall, get up, and try again. Learning English is the same. Each day, you are growing and improving, even if it doesn't feel obvious. Be patient and trust the process. 3. Set goals and track your progress. Clear goals give your learning purpose and direction. They also make it easier to see how far you've come. Short-term goals. Learn 10 new words this week. Repeat 5 phrases every day. Long-term goals. Hold a 10-minute conversation in English. Participate in a discussion group. Track your progress. Record your speaking, write journal entries, or use apps with progress trackers. For example, one student felt they weren't improving until they listened to recordings from 3 months ago. The difference was huge. Small steps, practice consistently, add up to real fluency. 4. Believe in yourself and stay motivated. This might be the most important tip of all. Your belief in yourself drives action. If you think you can become fluent, you will take steps every day to improve. Stay motivated by visualizing your goals like speaking confidently at work, traveling and communicating with locals, making new friends, watching movies without subtitles. 5. Keep learning in creative ways. Variety keeps your learning exciting. Try different methods. Sing English songs to improve rhythm and pronunciation. Write your daily journal in English. Narrate your day or describe objects around you in English. Record yourself speaking and listen for improvements. The key is to make learning enjoyable. When learning is fun, you naturally practice more, and your brain remembers better. Final thought. Remember, learning English is a journey, not a race. Mistakes are part of learning. Celebrate every small step forward. Practice consistently, immerse yourself in English, and keep trying new methods. Over time, speaking English will feel natural, smooth, and automatic. Stay curious. Keep learning. Believe in yourself. And most importantly, enjoy the process. Every day you practice, you get closer to speaking English confidently and fluently. You've got this. Mistakes are part of learning. Mistakes are normal. Every learner makes them. Instead of feeling embarrassed, use mistakes as fuel to grow. Each time you try and correct yourself, your brain learns something new. Stay motivated by remembering your why you started learning English in the first place. Maybe it's for a better job or career opportunities, traveling confidently, studying abroad, making international friends. Your mindset shapes your success. Stay positive, keep going, and celebrate each step forward. You are capable. If you've read this far, it shows you are serious about learning English, and that's amazing. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. You don't need perfect grammar or a native accent. What matters is practice, consistency, and confidence. Speak out loud every day. Surround yourself with English. Make mistakes, laugh, and keep moving forward. Your brain is designed to learn English naturally and automatically. Like learning to walk, ride a bike, or play an instrument, your brain will absorb English if you practice consistently. Every day you speak, listen, read, or write in English, your fluency grows. Imagine the possibilities. Once you speak English confidently, your world opens up. Connect with people globally, friends, colleagues, and strangers. Travel with ease, navigate airports, restaurants, and cities comfortably. Access better career opportunities, interviews, presentations, networking. Enjoy culture fully. Understand movies, books, and music without subtitles. This is not a dream. It's achievable with consistent action. Next steps to take today. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start right now. Speak English out loud, even if it's just to yourself. Listen to English daily, podcasts, shows, songs. Think in English instead of translating from your native language. Practice without fear of mistakes. Celebrate small wins every day. The journey to fluency is gradual. You might stumble, pause, or feel unsure, and that's okay. What matters is consistent practice and a positive attitude. Final motivation. Keep going. Never stop learning. Learning English is a process, not a race. You are investing in yourself and your future. Every effort counts. The more you immerse yourself, speak, and practice, the closer you get to speaking English automatically, effortlessly, and confidently. Remember, fluency is not about being perfect. It's about showing up, enjoying the process, and believing in yourself. Your journey to English fluency is entirely in your hands. Each day you practice, your confidence grows, your speaking becomes smoother, and your English becomes natural. You've got this. Keep practicing. Keep believing. Your English journey is a path to opportunity, connection, and personal growth. Step by step, day by day. Learning English is a journey, and every day counts. Day by day, step by step, your skills improve. Fluency doesn't happen overnight, but consistent effort builds results. Even small daily practice, just 10 or 15 minutes, adds up over time. The key is to keep going, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself. Share your experience. Your experience matters. What are your challenges in learning English? What did you learn from today's episode? What new technique or tip are you going to try this week? Sharing your thoughts, struggles, and wins not only helps you reflect on your progress, but also helps the community. Commenting and sharing your experiences allows others to learn from you, and it can even inspire new content for the next episode. Your feedback is important and encourages us to create more helpful, practical lessons for everyone learning English. Support the community. If you found this episode helpful, there are simple ways to support the show and the community. Subscribe so you never miss a new episode. Like the episode if it helped you. Share it with a friend who is learning English. Every small action helps the channel grow and reach more learners just like you. Your support ensures we can continue creating high-quality, effective, and motivational content. Your commitment matters. The fact that you are here, learning and practicing, shows your dedication. Your commitment and passion for learning English are truly inspiring. Remember, every effort, every word spoken, and every new phrase learned is a step toward fluency. Keep practicing and keep believing. Fluency is about confidence, consistency, and practice, not perfection. Speak out loud every day. Surround yourself with English through listening, reading, and watching content. Embrace mistakes. They are a natural part of learning. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and keep moving forward. Look ahead with motivation. Think about how your English skills will open doors. Connect with people around the world. Travel confidently and comfortably. Unlock better career opportunities. Enjoy movies, music, and books without translations. These possibilities are real. Every time you practice, you are building the skills to make them happen. Final words. Thank you for spending your time here today. Keep practicing, keep believing, and most importantly, keep learning. Your journey may have challenges, but each step forward brings you closer to speaking English automatically, naturally, and confidently. Remember, learning English is a journey, not a destination. Day by day, practice by practice, you improve. Keep showing up, keep trying, and celebrate your growth along the way. I'll see you in the next episode of Code Your English. Happy learning, and remember, you are capable, you are growing, and every effort matters.